is coming up, and is there a question as is this a chance for a safety or a corner that really pushes the action like Lucky to Bucky Jones? We'll see. Let's go up to Gene Washington.
The Patriots have selected defensive back from Syracuse to Bucky Jones.
Lucky to Bucky from New Britain, Connecticut. About a 3-wood from our studios at ESPN, and he is a guy that can really play a Pete Carroll pressure-type defensive backfield. Do you like the pick, or is this a reach?
No, not at all, Chris. He was the #2 cornerback on a lot of teams' boards. Of course, Charles Woodson, then to Bucky Jones. You say it's a projection. Is Jason Sehorn a pretty good corner now? Ronnie Lott, everybody said was only a safety, was a corner early in his career and a phenomenal corner at that. You see 214. He's been up as high as 217 during individual workouts. Still running 4.38. What you like about the Bucky, watch the athletic ability here. Now, that's the ability to make up ground in a hurry for a safety or corner. That's going to come into the focus in the NFL. Here's a touchdown return all the way. You're not going to catch the Bucky Jones with his 4.38 speed. This is against Tulane this year. First year in the defensive secondary. Another pass breakup. You can see the range in coverage. And I'll tell you, the guy made plays. In his first game, Chris, as a defensive back this year against Wisconsin, he went out and had 9 tackles. He's instinctive. He picks up things very quickly. He gives you a lot of versatility. He could be a free safety, strong safety, a cornerback. And obviously with New England, you have Ty Law, but you have Jimmy Hitchcock coming off kind of a struggling year. Rumor that he's on a trading block in New England. The Bucky Jones will be asked, I believe, this year to be a factor at cornerback. Remember also last year in the first round, they drafted Chris Canty out of Kansas State. Struggled a little bit his first season in the NFL. Size was a problem with Canty. Size is not a problem with the Bucky Jones.
Aggressive guys in the secondary and really in the whole defense. I mean, that fits Pete Carroll, and Mel talked about it, Joe. We look at their secondary. Of course, they get big plays at the safety spot because, big play Willie Clay and Lawyer Malloy are very solid at the safety position.
And also very young, Chris. When you take a look at this secondary, Ty Law, just a couple years in the league. Lawyer Malloy, the same ways. Willie Clay, he got his nickname, Big Play Clay. Chris Canty again last year added. The interceptions were not very high. I think what they can do is they can afford to go after people, cover a little bit closer. When you add it to Bucky Jones, now all of a sudden you're looking at a secondary that can play together for 4, 5, 6 years with the same people, and you've got some depth. So what Mr. Kraft and Pete Carroll are doing with the New England Patriots is they're adding quality and depth and guys who can contribute right away. That's the luxury position that the New England Patriots are in now, having the draft picks that they are. This secondary pick right here is going to, and again, it's in a division where you have to have corners who can play. The unique thing about Bucky Jones, a lot of people like to use 3 wides. He can be a good support safety type of a corner, which a lot of smaller guys can't do.
And a good family man. He's married. He has the children to take care of. I think his priorities are in order. I think when you look at Bucky Jones, Marvin Harrison said it best. A great wide receiver already with the Indianapolis Colts. When you said, how's Bucky Jones? What do you expect? He said, when he comes to the NFL, he's going to be all business. He's going to be focused, and he's going to be ready to work.
He's a southern New England fellow living about 2 hours from where the Patriots are going to play in Foxborough. The 18th of April is a very famous day in New England lore, American lore, but certainly New England lore. Maybe Bucky knows about it. 18th of April in '75 was Paul Revere's ride. Well, the 18th of April in '98, Bucky Jones, Robert Edwards, guys that could push the envelope on either side of the ball. Just thought we'd give a little history lesson at some point in the first round of the NFL draft. Now let's go up and talk about Bucky with Chris Fowler and Coach Godfrey. Guys?
Chris, you mentioned New Britain, from New Britain to New England. To Bucky Jones, a guy who played running back at Syracuse until he finally convinced the coaching staff up there, I can be better used as a defensive back. Get me on the field. He was only getting 5 or 6 carries a game as a running back. Mike Godfrey, you're able to see him play on both sides of the football. As a defensive back, what are his strengths?
Well, he's got a lot of strengths, Chris. When I talked to Bob Balaseni, who's the Green Bay Packer secondary coach, he really liked him about a month ago, and he's a workout wonder. He's worked himself into this top draft position. You look at him, he has got great athleticism. He's only 1 year as a safety. Now, the pro defensive coordinators that I talked to him look at it as a possible corner position for him. They like his size versus big receivers. Has a quick burst. You see him come off the receiver right here. Now he closes ground. He causes the fumble. He has speed also, the running back speed that you talked about. He gets an interception. Now he turns into the running back skills of that great speed that he's done in these workouts. and he really is probably one of the best athletes in this draft. And when you look at him, I think there's a couple questions. One is, can he be a corner? And two, I think he can be a great special teams player for you.
He's delighted to go anywhere. He'll be even more delighted, I think, to stay in New England. Mel mentioned he has kids. He has a 7-year-old daughter. So Tabucky told me he's going to start shopping for schools as soon as he knows where he's going. Also got sons who are 5 and 2 years old. And now he's headed to New England along with another guy you like, Robert Edwards. Sal Palantonia with Patriot head coach Pete Carroll. Sal?
Thanks, Chris. Pete, you got two guys that you really wanted, Robert Edwards and Tabucky Jones. Tell us about Robert Edwards. What did he impress about you?
Well, we liked a lot of things about him. He's a great all-around athlete, got great hands, and he's strong, and he runs tough. He can break the big play. We really like his attitude and his what he brings to our club, so we're real excited about that pick.
Now, he had a foot injury a couple of years ago, an ankle injury. There are some critics out there who say maybe he's not durable enough to carry the load in the NFL. You worried about that at all?
No, we investigated that thoroughly, and we think he's fine now. He recovered and came back from it and played very well this year. So he's very tough and pushed his recovery time as well. So we like that about him also.
Tell us about Tabucky Jones. There was a recent contingent of the Patriots that went up there, worked him out. You like him. You like his size and speed. Safety or cornerback?
He's a rare player for us to have an opportunity to pick at this time. He's got tremendous, physical skills, speed, size, and all of those things. But what I liked best about him is his attitude about contributing to his club any way he could, and he was a great special teams player. He scored touchdowns on defense. He's got a real supreme toughness that we love about him, and so we're going to bring him in here, and I'm going to try to teach him everything I know about playing bump and run corner, and we're going to make a corner out of him and see how that goes. And we're going to count on that happening. We know he can play safety as well, and he's a very, very good special teams player. So we're real excited to bring him here.
Hitchcock on the trading block?
No, not right at this time.
We entertain offers?
Well, there have been some phone calls on him all throughout the offseason, so we'll continue to take calls on whoever calls on about our players.
Thanks very much, Pete.
Good.
Let's go back to Chris Fowler in Bristol.
Sal, thanks. Patriots 2 picks, 2 great athletes. What about a 220-pound corner with a 40-inch vertical jump and an attitude that will do anything to help improve the football team? Talking about Tabucky Jones. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, successful drafts in recent years. They are on the clock as round 1 continues after this.
Polaroid presents the NFL Draft Snapshot.
Oh, very surprised. Yeah, we thought for sure it would be either Indianapolis, Washington, or L.A.
Indianapolis has selected Trev Alberts, linebacker from Nebraska.
But to pass up a Trent Dilfer when all you have is Jim Harbaugh, give me a break.
Who in the hell is Mel Kiper, in a way? I mean, here's a guy that criticizes everybody, whoever they take. Mel Kiper has no more credentials to do what he's doing than my neighbor, and my neighbor's a postman.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have made the 6th pick in the 1st round, and they've selected Trent Dilfer, quarterback, Fresno State.
Well, Chris, I'll tell you, I'm secure in my position. Obviously, Bill Tobin is not very secure in his position to have a response like that. To me, it's a mistake. You cannot go with Jim Harbaugh and pass up Trent Dilfer. Forget it. That's why the Colts are the laughing stock of the league year in and year out.
Trent Dilfer started only 2 games as an NFL rookie, but in '95 he was named Tampa Bay starter. However, struggling the next 2 seasons, throwing an NFL-high 37 interceptions. Trev Alberts played 3 years in his injury-plagued Colts career. He started only 7 games and retired last year, while Dilfer came into his own, guiding Tampa Bay to a 10-6 mark and their first playoff win in 18 years. Trent Dilfer was the first Bucs quarterback ever at a Pro Bowl. Who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway? We'll get back to that in a moment. We have our first on-the-board trade coming up with Tampa on the clock, and let's go up to the commissioner. I guess we get the commissioner at a dry dock when there's a trade, right?
As stated a couple of seconds ago, Tampa Bay traded its pick to the Raiders, and the Raiders selected tackle from Florida, Mo Collins.
Well, let me tell you what that was, okay? Well, we'll get you the rest of the trade in a moment. I'm trying to listen. Well, Oakland has 3 second-round picks, so we're gonna get this straight in a moment. But the Oakland Raiders have moved up to the 23rd spot and have taken Mo Collins